Hi, I'm Christian Triola, author of The Missing Method for Guitar books. And in this technique video, we're going to talk all about hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now, hammer-ons and pull-offs are vital techniques, basic techniques that every guitar player, regardless of the genre that you play in, should know and be able to do easily. And even though they are fundamental, they're often overlooked. They're just kind of assumed that, okay, you can do these. Or here, you just do this, do that, and then you're done. There's rarely time taken to really develop these techniques. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. Hammer-ons and pull-offs are vital to playing smoothly, which is often called legato playing. It helps you to play faster because you have now both hands playing notes, not just one hand holding down a note while you pluck it. You can now pluck one note and get several notes out of it with the other hand. It also adds an expressive element to your playing, so you're not just picking every single note. So it does give you a different feel. And then finally, it develops finger accuracy and strength. So these are all good reasons why you should take the time to really work on your hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now, these techniques are easiest to play on electric guitars and electric guitars that have light gauge strings. So the first string would be 8 or a 9, and then the others, of course, follow suit. That makes it the easiest to get. But what I recommend doing is practicing these on an acoustic guitar, because usually acoustic strings are a little harder on your fingers, so you have to work at it a little more, and that really does develop your finger muscles. So as you play across the neck and you switch to an electric guitar, you'll see and feel a difference. Now, in guitar notation, whether it's tab or standard notation, you'll usually see hammer-ons or pull-offs indicated with a slur marking. And a slur looks like a tie, it's just a curved line that tells you to either hammer on or pull off. So let's begin with the hammer-on. So the easiest hammer-on to do is just to take any string. I'm just going to take the last string, the 6th string, as an example. You play it, and then you use any finger to hammer on to a note. So I'm going to play the 3rd fret, 'cause that sounds kind of cool. You could do the 1st. And of course, what I'm doing is plucking the string and then using my finger to hammer on to the note. Now that one I kind of went over the top with, you know. You want to have your hammer-on under control, so you don't do that. So you don't go over the side of the fretboard, or you don't bend the string accidentally, which is easier to do on the higher strings, because you want to put so much pressure down to get the sound. You don't want that. You want just enough to get a nice, clear sound. So don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Try to find that perfect balance when you go to hammer on. Now, that's with open string hammer-ons, but most of the time you'll go from fret to fret. And so there are several great ways of practicing just hammer-ons that get all your fingers involved. So I'm going to show you that right now. The first way that you could do it is simply start with your index finger, pick any string, any fret. I'm going to take the last string, 5th fret, and you play that note. And then you hammer on with the 2nd finger. And then you go through all 6 strings. And you listen to make sure each sound sounds clear. And then you would go back. So it's 5, 6, 5, 6 the whole way through. The next thing you would do is take the 1st finger along with the 3rd finger. So now we're doing 5, 7, hammering on the whole way up the neck. And then you would go back doing the same thing, starting at the 5th fret, landing on the 7. And as you could probably guess, the next one is index finger with the pinky. And just that alone will help you start building up your hammer-ons. But then you can take it further. Instead of starting with the index finger, start with the middle finger, or do 2 and 3. And then go back Then you can do 3 and 4. Which is usually the hardest one because your pinky has a hard time getting that hammer on. Another one, which I kind of overlooked there, is 2 and 4. And so by doing that, you're giving every finger a chance to practice hammer-ons and with different finger combinations. All right, so let's move on to the pull-off. Now the pull-off, I kind of have a different name for. I like to refer to them as Pluck Offs because a lot of people will just put 2 fingers down or 1 finger and just come off the string. But you can hear my second note is a little weak. So what you want to do is actually pull on that string just a tiny bit. Not enough to bend it, but enough to make it feel like you're using your finger to pluck the string. It's kind of an exaggerated version there, but that's kind of how you want it. Like that. All right, so just like the hammer-ons, you can follow those same ideas to go through the pull-offs with fret-to-fret practice. So again, you would start with 2 fingers down this time, 1 on the 5th fret, 1 on the 6th fret. And of course, you could do that anywhere. That's just where I like to do it. So then you pull off, so you can hear the note that's underneath the first finger. And then go through the next one, next one. And what you want to do is think of them as 8th notes. So it's good to even set a metronome and practice it that way. Like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... So you can hear they're clear 8th notes. They're not just... And you don't want to do that sort of thing. You know, that's more of a grace note than it is a nice clear pull off. And then of course you would do the different finger combinations, 1 and 3. Then you would do 1 and 4. Then you do 2 and 4. And then you could do 3 and 4. You could do 2 and 3. All sorts of different combinations. So you should be able to use the same finger combinations that you did with hammer-ons when you go to pull off. So that way you give every finger a chance to practice this technique. Now once you do that, you can start combining techniques, of course. So you'd have hammer-ons and then pull-offs. All I did was pick once and then pull it off. In fact, a lot of times when you come across hammer-ons, pull-offs and hammer-ons kind of go together. You know, it just sounds good. And it takes you through a lot of notes quickly without having to pick every single thing. Now, one song that's useful for practicing hammer-ons and pull-offs is by AC/DC. It's their song Thunderstruck. The whole opening part of that is just hammer-ons and pull-offs over and over again. So I'd recommend looking that song up once you've got these hammer-ons and pull-offs learned, and just give it a try and see how it goes. Another guitar player you might want to check out is a jazz player named Matheny. He's known for playing a lot of legato style guitar, lots of hammer-ons, lots of pull-offs. He makes it sound so easy, so smooth. In fact, I'd recommend his album called Bright Size Life. It was his first album. It's got some great tunes on there, and you'll hear some good examples of this technique being used. All right, so that should get you playing with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Make it part of your everyday routine. Go through those hammer-ons, go through the pull-offs. You'll notice your fingers getting stronger, and you'll be able to play these with much more clarity, which is what you want. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate it when people do that. Also, go to our website, themissingmethod.com, and if you go there and sign up for our newsletter, you'll get a free book out of that, so make sure you do that as well, and check out what we've got on the website. All right, well, I hope that video helps you out, so I will see you in our next video.